What's the status? I know there was some discussion last year of some sort of reward for students for participating. So maybe having access to the scores is one reward. What's the campus-wide status on that? We're just badgering them with emails and it's up to individual faculty?
So there's been a fair amount of research done on response rates and rewards and other things. The best research that I've seen, the best results are achieved when there is a campus-wide culture which values the assessment, right? So if faculty and administration and other students communicate the value of IDEA, we're going to have high response rates and consistently high response rates. And there are campuses where you can see that, right? I think historically at USU, I wouldn't say historically there's been a strong culture that has valued course evaluations, either among students or among faculty or necessarily among administration. Right? I mean, it's a necessary thing, but I don't think everybody's going around saying, this is great. When I talk about a culture of valuing it, it means seeing evaluation and these course evaluations as a part of the classes, not as something that's bolted on, extra. I hate having to do it because it's extra, and I got these 5 emails, and I don't have time, and I'm doing my coursework. There's some evidence to suggest that doing things, for example, putting the IDEA evaluation in as an assignment in Canvas, right? Even if it's not a scored assignment, even if it's a 0-point assignment, makes a difference in terms of getting students to do it, because it becomes part of the class. There's some evidence to suggest that giving extra credit points provides an incentive for students. I've heard a lot of, I think this is something that's likely to be debated in the faculty senate among the FEC, because I've heard kind of strong opinions on both sides of that. I think some people are opposed. They say, well, the course evaluation is not part of the class, it shouldn't count. And then other people say, well, you count attendance. And we're kind of, I don't want to say remaining above the fray, but trying to inform that discussion with as much information and facts as we can. There is evidence to suggest that if you offer extra credit, more students will fill it out. One option is to set thresholds in the class, for the class as a whole. If the class achieves a 70 or 75 or 65 or whatever that threshold is that you want to set response rate, then everybody in the class gets an extra 2 points. Right? And there's a fair amount of evidence that suggests that the actual amount of the extra credit is less important than the fact that you valued it enough to give it credit. So you could have 1,000 points in your grading scheme and say, I'm giving 2 points for that. And just saying extra credit makes more people fill it out. That we're actually very poor in a behavioral economics kind of sense at valuing how much it really is going to be worth. And 2 points on a 1,000-point grading scale isn't really going to, you'd have to really be on the razor's edge to have it make any difference in terms of grades.